Hello, and welcome to the podcast, Falcon Paladin.
Thank you, Somicron. It is a wonderful spring day here in February in the Northern Hemisphere.
Spring?
Yes, the flowers are blooming, the sun is out,
Does spring
grass is
start?
growing.
Like the 24th of February? Is that the official spring date?
It is not, no.
Okay.
But it was a glorious 60 degrees and sunny when I went outside today, so it is spring.
I hope it snows tomorrow.
It definitely could do that. Yes, 100%.
When is
Very
the
much in the
final snow?
cards.
Like when is you won't be surprised if it snows in April? Like what's the
So yeah, so here's how this works. March comes around, we get like a week of beautiful weather, and it's like spring's here, hooray! And then the second week of March, we get a giant snowstorm, and everybody goes, and everyone's very mad and angry for a couple days. Then it melts off, and it's beautiful again, and we're like, spring is finally here again. And then there's another huge snowstorm, and then it goes away. And then in April, everyone's like, okay, we're out of March, that stupid month that's been tricking us all month. We're free and clear, and then April goes, blah, snowstorm. One last one just for you guys because we love you. And then if you get through April, you're free and safe. May sometimes has a freak snowstorm, but it's not an every year thing like it is in April. So that's the pattern. Yeah.
Okay.
It's good times. Good times.
Good times.
Anywho, yeah. So it could be snowing, but just enjoy the weather as it is right now. We'll call that good.
Yeah, yeah. But enjoy it while it's you know. Yep.
So what's going on? Let's see. Been watching Invincible. Continues to be pretty good. Jack Reacher is back for a season 2 on the Amazons. I'm excited to watch that when I have a second. Severance is continuing to be mysterious.
Apple TV continues to be unusable.
Yes, wonderful. I mean,
Yep.
terrible, but Apple TV. I don't care about their Australian viewership at all. How
No.
embarrassing of them. No.
Certainly not those of us on PC.
No.
Nope. I've also having
What
problems
could
with
you-
Disney Plus now as well.
Oh.
Disney Plus refuses to stream at anything above like 720p.
That's good.
Yep. So.
That's really good.
Woo.
Bad times. Bad times interneting in Australia. I feel like over the years we've been doing this podcast, we've had a lot of days where we've talked about how bad the internet is for you.
Yeah,
So,
and I mean,
less frequently, but less recently, no. But
I
in the
don't-
early years, yes.
this is a problem using the internet. It's not a problem with the quality of my internet, though, right? Like this isn't a me problem. This isn't a problem with my ISP, as far as I'm aware, right?
As far as we know, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
My housemate yesterday, Crunchyroll wouldn't load anything in his browser. Like you'd click on a video and it'd just sit there, spin for a second, and then throw up a generic error code.
Oh,
And then he
that
went
sucks.
into from Firefox to like Opera GX or whatever, and it worked fine.
Okay, so you've tried different browsers with this problem, and it's still been the same issue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's nice to fix that problem, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, so what else is going on here? Oh, I set up a third YouTube channel at Somicron's behest
You did
for
not
the
take.
VODs of all the stuff we've been doing.
You did not take my naming suggestion though, and I'm once again disappointed.
I don't remember what it was.
It was Falcon Paladin's third channel for VODs and other paraphernalia. I think it was something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, that sounds about right that I would say no to that idea. Yeah,
I don't
think
know.
That's accurate.
I think it's got more charm than Falcon Paladin plays. You know, all one word.
Quite possibly, yes.
It's gotta have some pizzazz to it. Nothing says pizzazz like paraphernalia.
That's a good word. Paraphernalia, however, I think is most often used these days in reference to drug paraphernalia.
Right, but like,
So there'd be some inferences there that I'm not sure I'm comfortable with.
you don't think people could get hooked on your videos?
No.
Okay.
No,
Well,
but there is some fun stuff out there. I was
yeah.
watching my Last of Us Part 2 playthrough a little bit last night because I was like, I don't think I've gone back and watched this at all since I played it back in 2020. So I
Certainly not.
watched like the third session that I did.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in the hotel that I do remember that was full of infested because I titled one of my VODs, I hate this hotel so much. And I was like,
Yeah.
I remember that feeling. That was a good
Mm.
time. So I'm hiding out in this hotel, and there are these clickers all around and stuff. And somebody in chat was like, "You promised you would use trap bombs because you can make trap bombs in the game, and I never used them."
Mm.
They're like, "We should use all of the weapons for variety's sake." And I was like, "You know what? We should." So I go to a doorway where clickers have been coming in. I've died at the spot 3 or 4 times, so like I know the pattern at this point. I'm like, clickers will come through that doorway. So I went to the doorway. I put down a trap bomb, and as I'm setting it, a clicker shows up, triggers it, and kills us both. It was wonderful.
That's funny.
Yeah. Chat really enjoyed that, blowing myself up. That was fun. And I also noticed that I'm really bad at the game, more than I remember being bad. Like, I'm fighting these scars, and, they're over there, and then one of them flanks me, and I panic. Just, like, blind run the other direction, and there's another one who's come up behind me, and I'm like... just, like, not even shooting at anything, not trying to get into cover, just, like, running for my life and getting gunned down. It was wonderful. So... yeah.
So
My ability to handle stressful situations in Last of Us is not very good.
I thought you were a pro gamer. Don't you play video games for a living?
Sure do. Not good at Last of Us. Absolutely not.
Did you ever play The Last of Us multiplayer?
No. Is
Okay.
that a thing? I thought
Yeah.
that got discontinued.
Well, it's in the first game. I don't know. I don't think it made it to the second, but
Hmm.
yeah.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Okay.
Probably would die a lot.
Oh, most certainly, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's multiplayer anything, though, right? Anybody, even if you're good, you're dying a lot. That's not really... it's not an indication of how good you are at the game if you die. No one's invincible in those things. Just got to keep your kill death ratio at a good rate there.
Just gotta keep it positive.
Yeah.
I mean, you can be positive and still be on the losing team.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There have been
But I mean-
precisely two shooters I've ever been above average at skill in. It's Halo 4 and Titanfall 1. And
Oh.
I can tell you, I could go 18-1, easily and still lose, you know. You know. So not
Yeah, that's
dying
fair.
doesn't mean you're necessarily good at the game if it's a team game.
Right.
Of course, there were also times where I was like 23-3 and I did, basically carried the team. So
Right.
swings and roundabouts. Boy, do neither of those games really have a lot of people playing them anymore, and my skills are useless. So
Yes. Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it goes. Get good at something, and then the something you're good at nobody cares about anymore, and then your skill's useless. Not fun.
yeah,
Part of getting older, I suppose.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Anywho, anything I want to talk about here? Oh, there is a funny moment in Severance.
Uh-huh.
Do you care if I spoil something that I'm not sure how important it is?
No, I don't think I care. I can't watch the show anyway.
Yeah, right. Okay, so there's a character who is the heiress to the company that is doing the Severance project.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is Helena, and as part of public publicity for it, they sever her and have her work on the severed floor. And so, man, you are so tired today. Am I boring you that much?
No, I don't
I
know
feel
what
like I'm boring.
I don't know what happened. It started about 20 minutes ago, and I just couldn't stop it. And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
it's not you.
Sleeping poorly, waking up too early, baker's hours catching up to you.
Yeah, something like that. It's gotta be.
Uh-huh.
Definitely not my cat's like smacking me in the face for food at 2 o'clock in the morning. Being like, I know it's 3 hours before breakfast, but could you feed me now? And I'm like, no. Get out.
What do you do?
I kick him out of the room.
Okay.
Try and go
I
back
feel
to
like
bed.
we could have performed that step, earlier in the night, but
I could have, but most of the nights they just want to curl up by my feet or like in the crook of my arm and purr away. It's real sweet.
It is. So how often do they kick you in the face at 2 a.m.?
Oh, like once or twice this week. I mean, it's Tuesday, so I'll tell you what that means.
I'm gonna blame your cats, I think, at this point. You're tired because your cats are assholes, as cats are, and are waking you up at 2 a.m. to be fed when it's not feeding time.
No.
Horrendous.
Yeah. Real faux power on their
Terrible.
part.
Definitely. They should be... Anyway, yeah. Anyway, I was just telling. So there's this Helena character, and she's called Helly on the Severed Floor, and she has a different personality. Yada yada yada. So at the start of season 2, they try to trick the severed people that Helly is there, but it's actually Helena in disguise as Helly, and they look the same because they're the same person. And this is very weird because it's Severance. And her and Mark, who is played by Adam Scott, have sex.
Who's
All right.
Scott, I need better. You said that name like I should know who that is.
I know. I mean, at this point.
Yeah, I kind of recognize him.
Yeah, he's been in some things. He's in Parks and Rec. He's in a couple movies. I want to say he's in Game Night or something.
Sure.
Anyway, he's around. He's moderately successful.
Yeah, he was in Hot Tub Time Machine 2.
Ah, yeah, like that.
A movie I've not seen.
Right.
Or Step Brothers, a movie I've not seen. Or Knocked Up, a movie I've not seen.
It's not going well for Sir Adam Scott.
He was in The Aviator, which I have seen, but it was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Anyway. I'll figure out where I've seen him somewhere. Don't worry.
Okay, there's a list. You never
Wet
watched
Hot...
Parks and Rec at all?
Wet Hot American Summer. That's where I've seen him. No, I've never seen Parks and Rec. Yeah.
Okay. Wet Hot American Summer. What year is that movie?
It's a TV show. Well, it's the TV show spin-off of the movie.
Oh.
Yeah, where'd it go? I just saw it on here. It was 2017 when I saw it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Fair enough. All right. So then they figure out that Helena is cosplaying as Helly. So they kick her out, and then Helly comes back. And then Mark's like, so we slept together, but it was not you, it was your outer person. And she's like, what the hell? She's mad about it. And then she's like, actually, hold on. I'm mad that she got to experience having sex with you, so I want to have sex with you. So they do. And then... And then, in the outside world, Helena tracks down Mark at a diner, and they're having a conversation. And... So at this point, these people have had sex twice. These bodies have had sex twice. And Helena was there for one of them, and Mark was there for 0 of them. And it is a very, 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 very weird dynamic. And I found it very strange and very off-putting. But hey, that's what Severance does, is it makes you feel like, what happened? This is so weird, man. They nailed it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit weird to make that a point of the show. Like, it's very important that we talk about who are these people having sex with and who are they not, and which personalities within those physical forms know about it. So that's
weird, man. Yep. I believe you are hitting it on the head. That's what the show is, and you pointing it out that it's weird is what it's trying to do. Fair
enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's Severance.
Yeah. I mean, how long are the episodes? 'Cause I assume that's like a 5-minute bit. That's not the entire
episodes
episode.
are like 45, 50 minutes.
Okay, so that wasn't like an entire episode dedicated to, squaring everyone's little black checkbook, so everyone's got the same balance,
Nope.
Okay.
No. Yeah. There's also another scene where 2 people working on the severed floor kind of fall in love.
Oh, okay.
And then they fire one of the people. So, like, the severed person ceases to exist, which is like, okay.
Yep.
And then on the outer world, the person who's not fired learns that they were in a romantic entanglement with this dude. And so it tracks him down and is like, hey, So here's this weird thing that happened to us on the severed floor that neither of us can remember. And the guy's like, "Hey, yeah, come home. Let's talk about it with my husband." And it's like, "Wait, what? Huh? Why would we do this? Like, why would this dude's like, hey, at work, like, I know neither of us remember it, but we were romantically entangled. And it's like, the first thing I'd like to do is for you to meet my romantic partner, and we can talk about this together."
Yeah, I can't wait to take you home and show you can meet the missus. Missus can meet my work wife. It's
Yeah,
every like couple's dream.
exactly, totally.
Even
so that's crazy too.
like, is the idea of being severed a common thing? Do people on the outside know that's what's going? Like
It's been happening for decades, and there are people who are ideologically opposed to the concept entirely. Like, they protest the fact that people are being severed. So it's a very well-known thing.
Right, but okay, so this person's
Yeah.
partner could be entirely aware of the concept and like understand that.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes a little more
Yeah,
sense,
yeah.
but I still would be like, okay,
It's very, very weird. Yes, and the husband is played by John Noble, who's Denethor in Lord of the Rings. So he's kind of killing it.
Yeah.
It's like this overcasting moment where I'm like, I wonder who's playing this guy, and I'm like, holy crap, it's John Noble. So that was fun. And he's Australian, by the way. If I can drag your attention back away from your phone.
I'm not even looking at the phone. I'm not even looking at my phone. I got the notification and I did not look at it. I will know.
He's Australian though, and they let him use his Australian accent in this, which was nice because I don't think he's usually gets to do that. He's usually made to be British or American. He was in the show Fringe, which I might have talked about on the pod before. He plays an American there. Yeah, he's Walter on Fringe. But you know who Denethor is on Lord of the Rings anyway. So,
yes.
Yeah. You're a Lord of the Rings nerd enough.
Yeah, a little bit. Just miss. My God, brother, stop texting.
Who is blowing you up?
It's my brother.
What does he want? Food. He wants food.
No, he's at work. And I was like, when are you taking the cats? Because of my models. Like, because they're taking the cat. Yeah, so he's like, are they broken? Are they fixable? I'm like, yeah. It's him being concerned.
Probably. Yeah, that's funny. Excuse me. All right.
So, I'm looking at the Wikipedia page here for Severance. Do you know who the principal director is? He was directed
the
most
principal
of
director, Adam Scott? No, Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller. Not a name I can think of as a director, but I guess he is, because I don't know the last time I saw him in a movie.
Me neither, to be honest. But yeah, he directs, and I think he's doing an amazing job. The cinematography is great. The acting seems really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
No complaints about Ben Stiller, director.
Okay. Well. Good. Okay.
Maybe one day you'll be able to watch it. Who knows?
I would like that very much. What if I've just been severed every time I go to watch it? And so I have seen it, but then the show ends and I'm back to here and I've watched it several times.
But it's other Somicron who is a huge super fan of the show and has watched it each episode 8 times. Yeah.
It could happen.
When you think you're sleeping, you're actually severed watching the show, and that's why you're so tired all the time.
Could be.
That's it. Figured it out.
Yep. Figured it out.
All right. Warhammer time.
Sure, yeah. I don't know that I have anything else specifically interesting to talk about.
Is there anything else?
Well,
no.
So, I live with someone who works for Sydney Water.
Okay.
And so I sent them a screenshot of like a picture that someone posted to Reddit, right? It was a Twitter thing, that's what it was a screenshot. And because Drake is in Australia at the moment, everyone's favorite celebrity. Performing? I have no idea, I don't care.
Okay.
But he's staying in a very large at the top of a very large skyscraper. Too much Warhammer. And he threw a croc out the window.
A what?
A shoe. They're called Crocs.
Oh,
Or like
croc. Got it.
a thong. It's like a rubber thong. Flip flop. I don't know what you call it.
I mean, sure. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Anyway, apparently he was doing this to shoo away a drone. Someone flew in through his like balcony. Whether or not this was staged
Yeah.
is entirely plausible, but I also don't care because
Yeah.
Sydney Water dredged it out of the river that it
Wow.
went into, and then tagged him with it on Twitter, being like, "You can come down to our Parramatta office and pick this up." There you
Okay, that's funny.
go. I'll send you the picture. Yeah. So I mean, I thought that was very funny. Uh, you know, local news. Nobody cares about me, but there you go.
Yeah. No, that's funny. No, Drake's in like international news right now. I don't. Seems pretty relevant to a lot of people. A
Probably.
lot of people's interests.
I don't know. I think celebrity throw things out of hotel window is not exactly groundbreaking news.
Well, funny that it was retrieved and then photographed. Like, I think that's interesting.
Yeah, I
'Cause,
suppose.
yeah, he just throws it out the window. It's like, man, so what? But like, somebody took the time to go to the river and be like, here it is. Yeah,
I mean, technically,
that's
what we
all.
have is a crime. He's littering.
Yeah,
We have the video evidence. We have material evidence. We should just fine him.
I think so. Do you have fines based on the offender's net wealth in Australia, like some countries do?
We should, but that would. Well, we should, but I don't think we do.
Got it.
Yeah.
You're not progressive enough for that.
No, fortunately not.
All right.
How much could we charge this guy for? I'm gonna say it was littering of a dangerous material because it's got his feet all over it.
Ooh,
Maximum penalty 25,000.
that's steep.
Yeah.
It's pretty steep. I think that might bother him. I mean, he's worth millions, but like 25K is
I don't think
like at
25K
least
bars.
a weekend.
I don't think it. I don't think that bothers him.
Hmm.
He's probably
Alright.
paying that to stay at this penthouse.
Right. So then he's like, that's one fewer stay at the penthouse. I can't come back next year. I'm out 25K. Whatever. Fine.
Yep.
Warhammer.
Warhammer. Woo woo woo. Playing patience.
We finished the omnibus, and the first step in that process was
It was
playing
playing
patience.
patience. Yes, we're actually now
Yes.
finished the Ravenor trilogy.
We have.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about Dan Abnett's writing compared to the first Eisenhorn, where you're like, woof? You feel like
Yeah.
it's significantly different, or is it kind of the same?
Significantly better, I would argue. I
Yeah?
think the characterizations are more interesting. The dialogue is better.
For sure.
I think Ravenor as a character isn't particularly interesting
Ooh,
to me.
Yeah?
I think everybody else on his team is more interesting in some way.
I think that's probably true. Although he is quite possibly the most interesting he is in this book.
Yes, that's fair.
Mainly because they nearly kill him, and then he has to, like, convince a person to, like, help him, and that
Right.
seems to affect him very much near the end of the book. But yeah, we'll start with playing patience, because that's the order
Yeah.
of the omnibus.
Right. And as I said in our conversation on Friday, it's just very funny to me. We had two books with Patience where she's like, my backstory is secret, and no one may know. And it's like, okay, cool, I'm done with that. And then in the third book, they're like, here's Patience's backstory. It's like, what? We either give it to us in book one or just don't give it to us. Like, leave it a mystery forever. Like, this weird, like, and whiplash. Now we know everything about Patience is weird.
Well, here's
It's a weird choice.
I mean, hold on, let me have a look at something real quick.
All right.
So, Playing Patience was likely written the same time or just before Ravenor returned, but after the first Ravenor book. Judging by its release date.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Well, in that case, that makes a little more sense. I'm
A little more
okay with
sense.
that.
But they,
Yeah.
for whatever reason, they've decided to make you read it after the second book. That's just how they've formatted it for the omnibus, which obviously came out after the third book had been released. Yeah, so Patience gets her name, and actually, I think the important thing here, and why I think it pairs really interestingly with Ravenor Rogue, is at the end of Ravenor, Patience is like hanging out in a hive nearby, just waiting for Ravenor to come back, right? Like she's super loyal to him.
Yeah.
But playing Patience ends with Ravenor just being like, well, it's easier just to lie to her here now, than
Yes.
us, because she'll want to spend the rest of her life looking for her sisters, who are just out there somewhere, and he's like, nah, they're dead.
Yeah.
So I think there's...
Like, we have no leads at all. We do not know where to start looking in the entire galaxy. So I think he's got a decent point.
Transit records, maybe? The people who came here, maybe there'll be cameras?
They did. No, they did. They looked at that stuff and they were like, it's a dead end. Like, there's nothing trailing from that at all. It was a fake name. It was a fake face. It was a fake ID. It was a fake ship.
Right, but if
gone.
You tell her they're dead, you then have to prove that they're dead. If she goes, show me the bodies. When did they die? How?
Yeah, did that happen?
No, apparently not.
Apparently not. So...
But I think...
Good job, Ravenor!
Definitely didn't just mind influence her, being like, they're dead, believe me. She's like, okay.
Ha! Ooh, that's definitely darker. I don't know.
Yeah, so I just think it's interesting that they pair the book where Ravenor meets and lies to Patience, and the ending where Patience is like apart from like Maud Plyton, who's like coming to visit him, the most loyal person left in his retinue, because I mean, we don't want to talk about the end exactly straight away, no, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice little contrast for sure.
Yeah,
agreed.
That's what I took out of it.
It's good. And I mean, so here's my question about Patience's backstory. There are these dudes who run like Coliseum games. They grab people, they dump them in an arena, and they're like, "Hey, try to survive. Good luck." And then there are people trying to kill him.
Sure.
So grabbing an untrained psyker out of a kid's school and being like, "Yep, this will provide us with good entertainment," is like, how often does that happen? Like, I feel like they show up and they immediately die.
Probably not very often do they have a trained psyker. Like,
yeah,
part of the book says that like the school, the Kindred Youth Scholem or whatever, knew she was a psyker for a while and just like kept her around until there was someone they could sell her to who would be willing to pay what she's worth. So I'm willing to bet they don't get psychers often, and the fact that she's naturally a telekind makes her useful for these games that they want to play. Like if it was, I don't know, a psyker who could read thoughts, I don't think they're particularly interested in that.
Right. You want one that can throw rocks.
Yeah, or spinning daggers. Yeah.
Sure. I guess. But I mean, if it's that rare to find a telekind psyker, I just feel like there's more you can do with it, you know?
Yeah, but these are like bored narco barons, right? These are just rich assholes who don't really have a whole lot of ambition beyond securing their territory and spending their money.
Yeah, and I mean, they probably already have enough psyker help.
They certainly
don't need any more.
They certainly could. The guy that they send to go and secure her is a blank. Like, they have access to a blank.
Yeah.
So maybe they already have a couple of astropaths and they don't need any more.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fair. So they just pick up a surplus psyker and they're like, toss her in the arena. This will give us, half an hour of fun.
Well, we keep saying arena, but I think they're just letting it loose in, like, the slums and being like, see which gang territory she can make it through.
Yeah, but there aren't, like, random civilians wandering around.
Yeah, but they're also not, like, watching from a podium. They have to send skulls after her to be like...
Yeah, I assume it's a big arena.
I don't know. I feel like... Because they're talking about, like, which territories. The Delors and then if they make it to the other one. It's either an arena capable of holding two separate gangs, and, like, the entire ecosystem needed to sustain that, or they're just dropping her off in the slums.
I don't know, but she would have tripped over someone at some point, right?
I mean, maybe, or the setup for these games, all the people there go, oh shit, I know what this is, and get the hell out.
Like everyone's bolt hold or run.
Right.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, maybe. Anyway, I
Maybe.
guess it doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter.
I'm just saying, maybe it lends more credibility that these people have control over such a large portion of like the city or like the Underhive that having a telekine, it's rare, but they don't need that, right? That's the kind of thing that brings Imperial attention, and so just putting her in the games makes sense, you know?
Yeah. Interesting.
An idea.
Yeah. Anyway, she almost dies. And Ravenor and Kara save her, and she's like so traumatized by dudes that she cannot hear a man's voice without hearing the people that hurt her. So Ravenor's like, so Kara, no, you're not super into getting weird right now, but I need your voice.
Yeah.
So here's my thing. You're an incredibly powerful psyker, telepath. You can't make your voice sound like a woman for 10 minutes?
No.
Right?
No.
Okay.
That's not how that works, Falcon.
Like,
obviously.
it's weird.
Jeez.
It's weird that brain to brain, mind to mind communication sounds like you anyway. Like, how does that work?
It's your projection of your voice. If he's like an internal,
so you should be able to project whatever you want.
I mean, I don't think it's plausible either way, right? Like, you know, I don't think it makes any more sense that you should be able to do as you want than you have, like, you're forced to use your own internal voice, right? Because, like, when Ravenor talks to people in his head, it's not the same sound of him using his Vox projector, right, from his thing, even though that's arguably the voice he talks with.
Yeah.
It's the voice he had when he was up and about, right? So internally his mind is that, and he's just not flexible enough to change it.
I guess, but like we can change what our voice sounds like right now with our stupid vocal cords. He's a super powerful psyker. Like he should be able to do a different voice a little bit.
Warp stuff doesn't work like vocal cords, Falcon.
Well, he can make someone think something they don't think. Like, I feel like making them hear something they're not hearing is also not that difficult.
When does he make someone think they're not thinking? They think something they don't think.
Well, you said there's the option of him influencing patients into believing her sisters are dead when they're not.
Right, but there's no evidence for that. That's just me having a theory of that's funny. Like,
okay, so warp magic psyker bullshit can make someone forget they know something. Like, why am I having to prove how powerful this is? What is going on here?
Because I just don't think it's a huge deal that Ravenor talks in his voice and is, for whatever reason, unable to confidently change it, you know?
Okay,
maybe
I do. I think he should be able to.
Maybe he goes, oh, this person's been betrayed by every person who's ever had my kind of voice. I should lie to her to get her trust. Maybe that's a terrible idea.
Yeah, and then he does that anyway, and it totally works out.
No,
hey!
He gets Kara to talk to her. It's fine.
Yeah, but then he lies to her about her sisters being dead, and it totally works out.
Right.
Hey!
Several months later, after she's had some time to calm down. It's not the moment she's escaped from captivity. Those are two different times.
You think she would have been mad if several months later, she's like, by the way, that voice you thought was Kara's was me. She's like, no, I don't trust you anymore. It's like, no. Like, you couldn't hear any male voices without freaking out. I needed you to calm down. I projected Kara's voice through mine. And it wasn't her, and it was me the whole time, and that's it. You think she'd be mad about that?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe it would undermine the foundation of trust she has for the entire rest of their relationship and all the books moving forward.
Maybe.
Maybe she starts to then doubt whether or not her sisters are even dead. Maybe she decides to decline his invitation to join the retinue because she also only stays because Kara will be there. She clearly feels some kinship there. To find out that's a lie, and then to be asked, "Hey, do you want to come join my warband?" She'd probably be like, "No."
Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, it's weird she joins the warband anyway. She's like, yes. Running around risking my life for the Empire that left me to rot inside this school for my entire childhood. Cool.
Wow. It's a private facility.
The word I should use is Imperium.
Yeah,
It is.
It's fine.
It is totally a private facility. You're right.
Yeah. Besides, he was offering, but there was a subtle undertone of like, you can't stay. You're a psycho. It's you come with me or I call the black ships. You know.
Yeah. So you think that might undermine her trust in him a little bit?
I mean maybe, but I think it's more likely to build the trust that he's like, look, I'm offering you a better life than what they'll give you, right? He's extending an olive branch. There's an undercurrent of threat, but the threat is the undercurrent. That's the important part.
Sure. Anyway, that's the patient story. I'm sad about her sisters, though. Like, she spent all that time staying at the school beyond when she was supposed to so she could take care of them. And then one day they're gone and she never sees them again.
Yeah. It's appropriately grimdark.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely very Warhammery.
Everyone gets a happy ending in a Dan Abnett novel. It's kind of odd that she didn't. Yeah. Whew.
Yeah. So then the next book starts where Ravenor is like, we are hunting
Moloch.
My brain wants to say Mortarion for some reason. It's like, that's not what's happening here at all.
Moloch.
Not even close. Yeah, Moloch.
Yeah.
And I'm gone rogue because I don't trust the Imperium or currently anybody in there. And I don't trust local governments or my bosses. And we've gone rogue and...
It's not even necessarily a trust thing. It's an obsession. He's like, no, I've got to go do this. I know I've got responsibilities elsewhere. And they're asking me to come in. But no, I want to go do this instead. It's obsession. I don't think it's necessarily a trust. It was definitely a trust thing at Eustace Majoris with, like, this could go all the way to the top. And then it does. Right? But, like, he had informed Lord Rorqual what he was doing. That he's like, look, I have to go special condition. But this is rogue. You know?
Yeah. And his boss was like, dude, no. And he's like, see ya. So he's hiding. He's hiding he's hunting Moloch. And I found it really interesting that they introduce us to the people in the book. They're trying to get information. They're undercover, right? They're trying to get to the seedy underbelly of the town, of the city. And I'm like, ooh, I wonder what information they're going after. What are they trying to do? And the answer is they'd like to consult the future tellers that are hanging out under the city and try to find out where Moloch is. And I'm like, what? How is that how we're doing this? The other two books were not doing this. We're using regular, like, investigative work and pounding the pavement and looking into records and stuff. What the hell?
You mean the Magic House is not quite on, like, the to-do list for a typical investigative process?
Not for Ravenor, no.
Well, I
it's
mean,
just weird to me that they're like, we're doing this investigation. The first thing you see us try is Magic House. What?
So, I feel like they're on, they're not on Gudrun. Where are they? Are they on, like, they're not on Eustace Majoris. I don't remember which planet they're on. Tancred. I think they're on Tancred. And and we get that great scene where Moloch has slipped the reins from Orfeo and is like in the diner and he's like chatting with the woman and is like, I could bring down the entire subsector from this diner just because I have this one little plague, and if I put it here it'll tank the economy and yada yada yada. Nice little scene. It's fun, but that's where we are. And I feel like Ravenor had expended all of the normal people leads there.
I hope so, because sure they don't show us him doing that.
Well, they definitely say that they've tried a whole ton, but they don't really have anything other than like a hunch to go on. And then we get this other lot of Inquisitors coming in and being like, bruh, you have to stand down, he's ours now. And then they all get killed because one of them's working with him.
Yeah.
And then as Ravenor's about to leave and go back to, do his actual job, they get that secret message from the lady with the sword and the guy who's working with Mulch, and we know he's working with Mulch. They set it up as like, oh, there's a mole, and we know we just have to watch this train wreck slowly happen.
Yep, that's super fun. Well, but it's interesting because it's a guy that was working for Moloch, but then he gets betrayed by him.
Yeah.
And then he shows up, and it's like, okay,
whose side are you on?
Yeah. So that was good.
Yeah,
I thought that was really smart. That was fun.
Yeah. I need to go to the list of the names in this.
Balak.
Lady
His name
with
is Balak.
Balak, yes. But what about the lady with the sword?
Too long. No idea what her name is. Every time I read it, I was like,
It's not any of those. Angarad. Angarad? Yes, a Carthaean swordswoman. Angharad. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Angharad chops his hand off, or the handcuffs that he's got tied to, and they manage to go and send a message to Hala Nail, who she also totally wanted to bang just because he had been stabbed by a sword and lived.
And survived? Yeah, that was amazing. He's like, wait, you got stabbed by that sword and you're alive? Show me. And he's like, what?
What?
Take off your shirt. Okay, this is hot. She's like, all right, neat.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's fun. She's a fun character. But yeah, they managed to hey, Ravenor, he's still out there. Mulch faked his death. We know he's still there. And they convince him to go and keep investigating. But they don't have any leads.
Right.
So Magic House.
I guess.
Also, I think Magic House, they say, was Thonius's plan. That he suggested at first.
Yeah, that does change things.
That does change things.
Freaking Thonius. Ridiculous.
I
still maintain.
Yeah.
I still maintain that Thonius managed to hide this from Ravenor for such a long time. For the longest possible time. And I know Ravenor doesn't go poking around in Thonius's head. I understand that.
But did he,
dude.
though? But did he, though?
What are you talking about?
Because Frauke has a pistol in his pocket to shoot Zale if Zale wakes up and is slight.
Yeah.
But Frauke seems pretty intent that the orders Ravenor gave him was not necessarily to shoot Zale. It was to shoot someone else, if they came looking for Zale. I think maybe he had a clue that Zale was not Slight, and that Slight might have been someone with them. He didn't know who or how. But I don't think he was completely fooled. That's all.
That's fine. I'm fine with him not being completely fooled. But Slight is living with you.
Yeah.
For a long time. Years, I think. I'm fuzzy on the chronology, but honestly.
Yes, I think it is years.
Okay. So again, I just like to point out that it's a happy ending here. But man, the Inquisitors are like, so what's the story here? You lived with Slight and didn't know it was Slight for several years? Yeah, you're on the bench forever. Sorry, man, you suck at your job. And he gets benched forever. It makes a lot of sense to me.
Okay, yeah. How did you feel about the scene where... I mean, I'm reminded of this because I said that having Balak around was watching a slow train wreck where there's a problem, but you can't do anything about it, which is when Carl is talking to Maud and Ravenor, and he's like, have you ever considered what you could get away with doing in front of people and what they just won't notice? As he's mind controlling Maud to shoot herself in the head and pushing a guy through a glass window, and they're just I don't see that.
No, what interesting behavior here. Super annoying. It's a weird choice, man.
To have
it's an interesting choice to be we're birthing another demon, yada yada yada. We've done this a million times. But this one's in an Inquisitor that is being trained by another Inquisitor. That's pretty good. Like, I like the concept. I just think the execution's like... I just wanted Ravenor to figure it out. That's all I wanted. I wanted him to not be caught by surprise by this whole thing.
Okay.
Like, when they're going through the doors, and they're going to die, and then massive demonic power explosion saves them,
Right.
and Ravenor at no point's like, what the hell was that? He's just like, hooray, we're saved.
Well, I mean, he was like, hooray, the saved. I'm still falling to bits and have more important things to worry about immediately.
Does he have more important things to worry about?
Yeah, like where the hell they are, and like...
Yeah.
Dying.
But also, demons are kind of the number one priority.
Yeah, I don't know. He definitely gets like tipped off when Child with the Key is like the demon you brought. Like she totally recognizes that Ravenor brought a demon with him, and he's like, I don't have demons. What do you want about? And he's like, no, you definitely brought a guy who had a demon in him.
Right. And I was like, you are surprised by this, and this annoys me to no end, sir. That's it. I don't know. Like, Ravenor's whole thing is he's supposed to be smart. He's supposed to be insightful, and he's supposed to be like an incredibly powerful psyker.
Arguably,
and then this, right under his nose, this thing happens, and I just can't.
Look,
I can't get there with him.
Really smart people have things happen right under their noses all the time, right? Being super smart does not mean being perfect, right?
No, correct. I don't need it to be perfect. I'm okay with him missing it for a while, right?
But
first year, he's like, boy, howdy. But then the clues start adding up, and weird stuff keeps happening, and he puts it together. That's all.
I feel like in the timeline of 40K, a few years is like no time at all.
It's like a day and a half. He figured it out in a day and a half.
It would have been nicer for him to like have a couple of moments where he's actively thinking about the issue at least, and like reaffirming what he knows and why he does or doesn't think something. That would have been nice.
Yeah. It would have been nice.
Yep, it would have been nice.
Dan Abnett was like, it would be hilarious if there was a demon right under Ravenor's nose for 2 books.
You know what? He's not wrong.
And so then he's like, so I can't have him look at it too closely because then he'd figure it out. So he just never does.
Right. Remember, the birthing of Slight was like this other task that Gregor gave him in another short story. He's mainly concerned with knowledge, right? Like,
yeah,
that's what he cares about. Slight's this like side problem. He doesn't really like. He obviously wants to deal with it, but like knowledge
is it a side problem?
Well, compared to a guy who can bring down the entire subsector's trading economy from a diner, that guy seems like a pretty big problem as well.
Slight is a much bigger problem than a guy who can bring down the subsector's economy from a diner.
I don't know. A giant demon spawns. Yeah, okay, maybe it kills half the planet, but the guard shows up, the Space Marines arrive and shoot it.
No, I thought they were talking about he would decimate planets.
Probably. It's possible.
He would be able... Yes!
I mean, here's the problem.
Here's the problem.
Here's the problem. They call Slight one of the Demon Majoris Arcana. Like, is it like a power scaling? Like, where does it sit between Demon, Greater Demon, Demon Prince? I don't know. It doesn't mean anything. They think it might kill planets, but that's not a title that says it will definitely kill planets.
Classic Warhammer. Okay. Well, but then they talk about how big and powerful he is, and then immediately you're like, and then after he's been born for 30 minutes, he gone. Oh, okay.
Right.
So maybe not as big of a problem as we thought he was.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but like there was some, when he is actually manifesting, he is much different to what I expected him to be. I don't know about you, but I was not expecting the giant tentacle monster bigger than the mountain range that they're standing on, you know?
Right.
So maybe Space Marines couldn't have shoot it, and it had to be magic ritual. Yeah.
And magic that they thankfully happen to have
at the moment. Yeah.
Well, no, because of the door. They
Well,
brought the
that
door
too.
with them.
That too. Yes.
That's it. Molich had no idea what the hell to do. He was like, "This sucks. We're all gonna die."
He had
And then they were
ritual,
like,
and they needed blood, and
"Yep."
he made.
And then he was like, "We're gonna die." And then it's like, "Oh, the door. The door gives us a chance."
The door gives us a chance, but they still had
Yeah.
needed the other stuff for a chance as well. I do think it was interesting that he was like, "No, Ravenor, you say the magic chaos words. You do this." Like, just to be like, I don't know, twist the knife a little. It's kind of Eisenhorn going to Pontius for information. It's like, where's the line when you decide to work with like someone on the other side so you can get a better understanding. I get that this is like extreme moment, and Ravenor's like, I need to do whatever, but he does describe that as the hardest thing he's ever done.
Yes.
And this book's Ravenor rogue. He goes rogue, but he never really feels like a radical, and that's like
No.
the closest we get. Other than like, I need to go talk to Magic House, that feels like a thing a radical would do. But no.
Well, that wasn't his idea, so it's fine.
Well, he still agreed to do it.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. Oh man. So yeah, that's basically it.
What did you think of the trap with the magic door? Where it's like, hey, you can come work with us, or we can send you back, and we'll totally just let you do that. And then they get trapped under the Zerg.
Right. They totally get Zerg swarmed. It's kind of awesome, actually.
Is this your introduction to Tyranids in 40k?
I did not have that thought, but you know what? Yep.
Yep.
I guess it was.
That's your first look at Tyranids.
Yeah.
Yep.
Biologically evolved killing machines.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck. Yeah. Yeah. I do like how they're facing down a whole swarm of them, and they hold them off for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get through the door, and a few of them make it inside, and then fighting, one-on-one is still pretty tough on these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But, I would like to point out that Moloch's plan of getting them back and stuck in the desert, getting murdered by Tyranids, I feel like it could have been a better plan. I'm just saying. Nobody died. It didn't kill a single one of them.
Yeah.
Like, is there a planet that's just underwater? Like, maybe you can just drown them? Would that maybe work a little bit better? I don't know.
Interestingly enough, the house is underwater.
Right.
So where the door opens that is underwater, there's a house. That doesn't work.
Oh. Well, just like
maybe there's another
another planet.
Maybe there's something about the way that the metaphysics works is you can't put one end of the door in a volcano because then you've put all the doors in a volcano and they still want to use the doors, or they still need to get Ravenor to Orfeo first. And it's like, well, if you have a door waiting in the volcano, they're all in the volcano.
Right, that's fair.
Yeah.
So it has to be somewhere they can survive, but soon their doom will come.
Right.
Fair enough.
How did you
Maybe
feel?
the volcano erupts later.
You go and put them at Pompeii, but a week before.
Yeah. Or like 10 minutes before.
How did you feel about them finally figuring out a little bit of a way to understand the door and being like, take us to the ship, and then they end up on this planet filled with thorns, and it's like, it's 1,000 years in the past.
Yeah. That was fun. It's very genie fulfilling wishes garbage.
Uh-huh.
Where it's like, I know what you want, and I'm gonna give you what you want, kind of.
Well, the way genies fulfill wishes, they're just being dicks about it. I think this.
Yeah, the door's being a dick about it.
I don't think the door has the context to know it's being a dick. It's just trying its best, but getting it wrong.
Oh, that's interesting. Really?
Yeah, I think the door doesn't know that when he says like water, we need water. And he goes, well, there's a place where it rains water, and it's like on a beach. I don't necessarily know that that's being a dick to put him on a beach filled with salt water.
Yeah. Okay. So you're saying if they'd been more specific about what they wanted, then maybe they would have gotten what they wanted.
Maybe, because that's eventually how they get out of it, isn't it?
Except kind of. Right? Again... I feel like they were specific the last time, and they still got dumped on the wrong ship. They still got dumped on the hinterlands, didn't they?
The Hinterlight? Yeah, well,
Yeah.
because Ravenor said take me to my ship, and he still considers the Hinterlight to be his ship.
Is that what he said?
I
Okay, so
think
it's
so.
his fault then. Freaking Ravenor. He's had multiple experiences with this door, and he's still not being as specific as he possibly can. That's amazing, Ravenor.
What's amazing is we have a character who just figured out a way to time travel effectively, and did not think to go on the bastard one himself. There's absolutely no intonation to be like, well, I could go and tell Gregor about the Thracian Primaris incident and be like, save myself. Nope.
Yeah, but how does... I mean...
I
Time travel in Warhammer. I do not want to get involved at all.
and
I'm
neither
out.
did Dan. So
Nope.
thanks,
So neither
Dan.
did Ravenor. I mean, we've already got the warp. We've already got the concept that time doesn't mean anything in the warp. Like, we do not need to do this.
So does the door get destroyed at the end?
I don't know. They don't really go there, do they?
Do they still have the door?
I mean, it feels like one of those things that it would be annoying to have to keep in your back pocket as existing as you kept writing books.
Mm-hmm.
So you just got rid of it. I imagine it's destroyed.
I imagine
sucking a Demonus Primaris through your hole probably kills you.
Yes, sucking a demon Primaris through a hole probably destroys you.
Probably destroys the hole.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So at the end, Ravenor is like remitted to inquisitorial custody for like abandoning his post and going rogue, and they're like, we're gonna have a hearing, and Kara's also going to have a hearing for keeping Carl hidden when he had a demon in him.
Slight a secret.
Yeah.
Yep. Which honestly, fair. But also, if she'd been like I'm telling, he probably would have just changed her memory earlier than he already did.
I mean,
there's nothing she could have done.
Right, but he didn't, like, I assumed his ability to alter her memories like that came with the control he did get later on. Like, I don't necessarily know that he could have done that immediately, otherwise he would have.
Oh. Or he probably just would have killed her.
Yeah, he could have killed her.
Because it was survival at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if she tells an Inquisitor what he is, that's it. He's done.
Right.
Yeah. So he probably would just have killed her. So she didn't... Yeah. She's under duress.
But does that matter?
I don't know. Well, to the Inquisitorium, probably not. They don't give a shit.
Probably not.
Probably not. But I'm saying from my perspective... I don't think I blame her for any of it.
No. I think he pretty effectively manipulates her when he first realizes and like, look, I just need a little bit of time to sort this out, like to figure it out a little bit. And I think she is like, there's a lot of lines where Ravenor is like, and I think I maybe value Kara for her gentleness as much as her acrobatic feats, you know? I think she's kind, you know, and Carl is able to use that against her, you know.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Belknap. But...
Yeah, that's interesting too. I'm just thinking though, like if my really, really good work friend, right?
Yeah, huh?
In this situation was like, yes, I'm possessed by a demon and I work for an Inquisitor, so I know what that means. And I know that every single human who's been like, I can handle this, never can handle it.
Right.
Do you think she could have gotten away with being like, yes, I'll give you some time. We've been friends for a long time. I trust you. And then just immediately ratted him out.
Yeah, that's definitely something she could have done, I think.
Yeah.
I think Carl would have bought the yes and then a day later been like found Ravenor knocking on his door. Yeah, I think that's definitely a thing
Yeah.
that could have happened. But I don't know. Maybe in the immediate aftermath, she immediately went into like, "Hey, Dr. Belknap, you wanted to see me about my massive amounts of cancer that are suddenly into remission," and had
Right.
she found herself inventing reasons not to go to see Ravenor because she also was hiding that, you know.
Yeah. But I mean, are you saying she's hiding reason or making up reason not to go see Ravenor because she's afraid her cancer will come back if she turns in Pearl?
Maybe, but I think she's like I think she honestly agrees to not turn Carl in, and when once she's at that position, she finds reasons not to go and talk to Ravenor. Because if she does, she might end up accidentally telling him the truth, or he might surface read her thoughts, you know?
Yeah, totally. That's always a concern.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And she has a hot boyfriend she's probably banging a bunch, so.
that's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
There's a lot of banging in this book.
There is consensual and non-consensual.
Yeah. And
Dude, they're like, so Kara spent a while getting tortured and raped, and we're just not really going to talk about that very much, and she's back now. And it's like, uh, um,
thank God the book wraps up
what?
so fast.
Yes.
And Wystan Frauke is reading bedtime stories to Zale. You know, stories at
Yeah.
bedtime, but not bedtime stories. I thought
No.
that was the
Wow.
funniest joke in the entire book.
That was good.
Yes.
Well, and then Zale is conscious?
In his, like his his mind is conscious, his body isn't.
Right. And
Uh,
he's talking to the blank. Which is
problematic.
sure. I don't think I've ever seen that before in anything
Nope.
I've ever read in the world.
Neither have I.
And talking to the blank turns him into a not blank anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm
He
just gonna
is.
say Zale is not slight, but Zale is something. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, what level of psycher do you have to be to undo a blank? That's insane.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
yeah, yes, you are absolutely
You think
not wrong.
Abnett had this thought at all? You think Abnett was like, boy, this opens some doors and asks some questions?
I don't know, maybe because at the end he's just like, and Zale was speaking to the blank, and then the book ends, and another Inquisitor took him off Ravenor's hand and is maybe going to be kind of merciful to him. That's the feeling Ravenor gets. The end.
But then you said Zale shows up later.
He does. Another author, Aaron Dembski Bowden, who I love, uh, he has a book which we should read at some point where Zale turns up as another character,
Yeah.
like all grown up, you know?
Yeah, so not dead. That's nice at least.
Not dead and not fed to the Emperor, but you know.
Right. Right. It's not the only bad things that can happen to you in Warhammer, but
Do
they're
we
pretty bad ones.
do we want to read that book next as a break from hardcore inquisitive Dan Abnett before we get back to it?
Sure, why not?
Okay, okay.
I was realizing these books are old, and I might be able to get them from the library. I was so used
Oh,
to us reading new books that aren't at the library that
yeah.
I stopped checking.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm curious if I could have gotten Ravenor without freaking buying it.
You should check. You probably could have gotten Eisenhorn.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, actually, hold on, maybe not. It knows what these books are, but they're not immediately available, so maybe not.
Hmm.
Anyway, what are you talking about here?
All right. So the next book we're gonna read is The Emperor's Gift by Aaron Dembski Bowden.
Yay, my favorite.
I thought James Swallow was your favorite.
I like Aaron Dembski Bowden too, though. No, you're right. James Follow is my favorite. The Emperor's Gift?
The Emperor's Gift.
What's the year on this one?
2012.
Oh. Not pulling up. Let me go through his... Dude, there's one book of his.
On...
The First Heretic is the only Aaron Dembski Bowden book they have in my entire library system. That's crazy.
Whoa.
All right.
I guess you're buying it.
I guess I'm buying it. I'm buying it on my Kindle app, which shouldn't be possible.
You can buy the hardcover for $658 on Amazon.
Holy crap. No thank you.
Or the Kindle version for $13.99. Which one will I go with?
Or $9.99 if you're in America. Wait, I can't use my bonus points if I do it on the app, though.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Website.
Do you even earn bonus? Holy, what the fuck? The hardcover just price updated because I was looking at it. It went from $859 and now it's $1,320.
What the?
Maybe the cheaper version just got sold.
Yeah, here I can use my Amazon card points to buy it for free, so that's good.
You get it for free?
Well, yes, because I've been using Amazon and I earn points by buying stuff on Amazon. It's not exactly free.
What'd you buy on Amazon?
I mean, I get stuff.
Okay.
Like my kid's pre-diabetic, and there are these protein drinks that he likes, like the only ones that he likes, and they're on Amazon. So
okay.
Stuff like that. It's really exciting.
Yeah. It's not really what I had in mind.
No. So bam, purchased for nothing. Awesome stuff.
Sweet.
Delivered to.
We should mention the end of the book where Harlan Nail is off in the wind. Where's Kara? I don't remember. Did she also just like peace out, yo?
I think so.
Yeah. Again, the book ends like all Dan Abnett's just disappearing, like in the pages, like just so quickly.
Yes, crazy just abrupt.
Yeah, so she's gone. I think Frauke dies.
Yep.
Yeah, because of all of the nosebleeds.
I mean, probably. Also, all of the Inquisitor medical teams that took him apart to figure out how he's not a Blink anymore.
Probably didn't help.
Yeah.
March finally dies. He gets an aneurysm.
Is that what happens?
I mean, a Ravenor-induced aneurysm. Like,
yeah.
I took this mean he like died of natural causes.
I mean, that's what... yeah. Ravenor kills him. I do like that moment where he's like, I've been chasing this guy. We kind of have this bromance thing going. We helped each other get rid of Slight. And I'm not going to hesitate. I'm going to murder you. We're done with this whole thing. Bye. It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get the story like set afterwards when Ravenor is on this council determining whether certain heretical works are actually too heretical to read? And frickin' Eisenhorn shows up?
There was another book in your omnibus?
Yeah.
Did it have a name?
Very long.
Did it have a name?
Probably. It wasn't very long.
It definitely sounds like one that I've read.
Yeah. It's really short. It's like Eisenhorn shows up to see Ravenor, and he knows he's here, and while he's kind of hanging out, somebody is going into the minds of the guards in the room and like just going on murderous rampages. And Eisenhorn's like, they're here for me, because Eisenhorn thinks everything's about him. That's how Eisenhorn works. It's called Perihelion?
Perihelion.
Yeah, Perihelion.
Yeah, Perihelion. Yes, so that is another short story that is included in the Magos book that we will get to.
Ah, well, it's in the
Um,
omnibus too.
I did not know that because I sent you like a little screenshot when we worked out that there were short stories in the omnibus, and it only listed 5 books. So,
Hmm.
okay, you got a freebie.
I did.
Yep.
It's all right. Yeah. So basically, it explains that Ravenor is just basically hanging out with the rest of the Inquisitors, doing stuff like this.
He's on desk duty because if I remember correctly, I don't want to spoil anything, but he's on desk duty because he refused to go and hunt down Gregor. That's
He
why
was
he's
given the
stuck.
choice. Yes.
Yeah.
He was given the choice to either not. Okay, it's not only desk duty. It's not use his psyker powers at all for anything.
Uh
Or else he's super busted.
huh. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so it's really funny because they run into each other and Ravenor's like, "Oh, they're here for me." And it's like, "Are you also being a little self-centered here? Are you also maybe delusions of grandeur that everything's about you?"
Well, I mean,
Because how he explains it is the powers that be, these enemies of, you know, of the warp, they want me to use my powers to stop them from these terrible crimes they're committing in my presence, and if I do, then I'll have broken the rules and I'll get locked up.
Yeah.
So I won't. But I don't know. Like, I don't know if that proves anything about who was doing it or why.
Yeah, don't know.
Yeah. Do they go? I mean, do we get there?
I mean,
Is that a thing that's ever explored later? Like,
Um.
what incredible power is wandering into the Inquisitorium and being like, "Ha ha ha, I'm gonna make the guards kill each other for my own amusement." Like, dude.
I'm gonna say I haven't read this book in a while.
Okay.
But I mean, if I was to throw a guess, Gregor is the one who's wandering around with the demon host, who's more than happy to like possess people and have them kill each other in the inquisitorial conclave, whatever. I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like, well, I mean, if Gregor is at the point where he can't tell that's happening, then we are
Deep in the shit.
deeply in trouble. Yeah.
So I am looking at this book on the wiki, and it describes it as a prequel to another book, which we will get to, but that makes it weird that it's included here, right?
Okay.
Because the next book we're going to read after this is The Magos, which has a bunch of short stories and then one relatively short novel. And they're all set around this Magos biologist. That's why it's called The Magos. Most of them are. It still includes stuff like Talon Wishes Thorn and Playing Patience. So some of them are just maybe thrown in there because it's a collection of short stories.
We have some of those. Yeah.
But this book is a prequel to the book that comes after The Magos.
Okay.
Yep.
Weird.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so it does pick up from there. Good. I figured as much. It's an interesting idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of sad too because they're talking to each other and I'm not sure if it's even Gregor or Ravenor that really notices it as much as it's the author who's like, Gregor's face is paralyzed and Ravenor's in a box. And they're having this conversation and they can't read each other's body language.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So they can't quite trust what the other one is saying at all. And it's like, ugh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think the final line is something like, Ravenor says, "I hope we never meet again," he said. His voxponder was toneless. Covered by the falsehood, its resolution turned to maximum effect. I left the palace by the back staircase and exited into the deep hillside well of covered steps below the ramparts.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So what does that mean exactly? Covered by the
The falsehood is literally
falsehood?
like a cloak that makes you look like another person. It's a falsehood.
Oh, so he's saying.
It's a piece of technology that Gregor's using to sneak around.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay, that makes sense then. But when he's
Yes.
running, it doesn't do a very good job.
No.
I picked up on that. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, that it.
That's it.
That's it. Trying to think. No, okay, we're good. Didn't miss anything. I thought I had for a second, but we're good. All right, so that's going to be it from us. This has been Somicron and Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of the Falcon Paladin Hour at twitch.tv/Somicron every Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on where you're in the world. You can support the podcast by subscribing to that channel or by subscribing to the YouTube channel at youtube.com/@Somicron. You can also do that by buying merch at falconpaladin.store and by going to patreon.com/Somicron and pledging. So thanks for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed all the nerdery talk. We'll be back in a week with more of it. So until then, stay safe and healthy, and you take care of yourself. Goodbye.
Bye. Bye-bye.